Take two.
We lost so much mojo. Welcome to the Final Descent Outdoors podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. This is our second attempt at it. We got about 20 minutes in, and can I just say it was so good. And Adam just had a freak-out moment and was like, you know what? We need to test this. Hold on.
I saw something that was like, I don't know what's happening here, and decided to investigate. And investigation, it made it to where we get to do it again, because we need to have that conversation apparently again.
I don't remember even what we talked about.
That's pretty much every podcast we've ever done, though, I think, at this point.
Yeah, no, we just hopped in. No, I know we did talk about this, is the amount of people who said they were so excited for Season 2.
Yes.
That we got messages.
Yes.
People tuning in, listening, and I'll be honest with you, I'm shocked. Yeah. One guy said...
Oh, I'll turn the music down for this moment.
Oh.
Sorry, right folks. Off the bat.
Right off the bat. Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by... why don't you get the logo out of the way? There we go. Beautifully done. I don't know if you heard that little honk in the background. The old choo-choo whistle.
Yeah.
What's this segment brought to you by?
This segment is brought to you by Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad.
I know. I got to reach out to them. I wonder if do they have a marketing department?
I mean, every company does, right?
No, they sure don't, Adam. They sure don't. That's something we learned doing marketing for people.
Yeah. You have a marketing department, right?
We have a guy named Styles. He's down in the basement. He knows Publisher 98 well.
Yeah. You're the font Algerian.
Ah, man.
We've got a whole story about that one.
Man, I don't even want to get started on that.
That's a whole
and the podcast,
story.
Outside of being sponsored by Burlington Northern Santa Fe, who officially has no affiliation with us, we're also sponsored by Deer Camp Coffee.
Yeah.
Cool mugs. And you might notice our stickers.
Yes. This happened in the first run right here.
I noticed when I went back and watched Season 2, Episode 1. If you can't beat them, cheat them, is what I named the podcast, which has really nothing to do. It's just a line that we used in the podcast, but I just ran with it.
Yeah.
I noticed that there were stickers on the bottom of our Deer Camp Coffee stuff, which says two things about us. One, that we have great taste in stuff that they sent us, and this is what we chose. And two is that we didn't wash them suckers. We went straight into usage.
That was right out of the box.
Right. So yours was, how much was
Mine was $29.99.
Right. And then my mug, all right, over here was a solid $24.99.
But we did label them onto our mics, and we'll leave them here. So now anybody that tunes in is going to be like, man, where did they get those mics for $24.99?
Yeah, yours is a little nicer than mine.
Mine's just slightly nicer. I have
$5
condenser, the condenser mic max, if you will. What you said in our first go that was the most intriguing thing that I heard from that was you said that you were surprised at the amount of people that said they need this podcast.
Yeah, which makes me question your mental health. You know what I mean?
Like, it's a really strong word.
Because there's a difference between want and need, and when you say, I needed this. I'm like, man.
And here is a list of counselors.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a list of professionals that maybe you need to go talk to. No, we appreciate that people miss this, that have missed the banter.
Have missed
the convo.
This is the equivalent of two old men sitting on a porch and eavesdropping.
And there has been zero upgrading done equipment-wise for Season 2. Yeah. Though through Season 1, equipment was upgraded. Now, the baby blues are still here. Yes. I can see them hanging out of the tub over there. I can see the cord.
We've got the mic from 1992 over there.
Oh, yeah. No, there's been some... Matt Redman graced the lips. His lips graced that mic. Maybe a little Stephen Curtis Chapman from his era, you know.
Michael W. Smith had he breathed on it at one point in time.
Hey, did you know that in it would have been about 1994 or 95, the First Baptist Allen Disciple Now, which you guys just had a Disciple Now at First Baptist Wellston.
We did have a D now.
Do you know who our band was?
It's going to be juicy. I know that much.
It was a little band maybe you've heard of called Mercy me.
Really?
They played at First Baptist Allen,
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, in front of 35 kids.
That's
yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Wonder if old Bart remembers that one.
You got to start.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Speaking of old things.
Okay.
Last night we had a service. Last night it was great. A Wednesday night service at the church, and I got out Switchfoot.
Oh,
Legend of Chin.
Oh my!
Their first big album that went big. So started a radio station on that on my YouTube Music, and before long I was full into experiencing like my 8th grade year of
youth ministry,
and it just really set the tone for
it was like 98.
Yes, like we had Audio Adrenaline Bloom.
Oh,
I mean, it was.
You know what I learned from that era?
What is that?
That they don't serve breakfast in hell.
Oh, when the milk has turned. Yeah.
And you know what else is great? Multiple people said, I made it past minute 55 in the last podcast when you were singing.
And they don't serve breakfast in hell.
Great song.
Yeah.
Newsboys.
You
remember the Newsboys concert where they had the drum that rotated and spun?
I remember multiple Newsboys concerts, and almost all of them had some kind of catastrophic moment.
Yeah,
that happened in the
middle
concert.
Of it.
Yes.
Wow. You know, we did. So actually, the first time we would have probably been in one another's presence was a concert at your old church,
New Church.
At New Church,
yeah,
Rockwell,
Oklahoma City, Northwest Highway.
One of the first Christian concerts I went to, because I had great parenting growing up a kid. The first concert that I went to, I was probably a 4-year-old, and my parents took me to see Willie Nelson and Hank Williams Jr. at the Zoo Amphitheater in Oklahoma City.
Getting kids high at 4.
No, I did. I got a secondary high, and I also saw I also saw adult women's parts.
It was
concert.
Willie.
And it was
you were at a Willie Nelson.
I was at a Willie and Hank Williams Jr.
There was a lot of freedom.
And one time I got lost in Branson at a Reba McEntire concert, and had to get directed by security. Found me. Had to find my parents because there wasn't cell phones.
No.
Anyway, but there was a concert at New Church. This would have been somewhere in the 1998 range.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah,
because I would have been probably about 5th, 6th grade or so.
Yeah. Did you go?
Oh, yeah, I was there.
You were there?
I went to every concert that we had up there.
You remember who it was?
Yeah, it was the OC Supertones.
Supertones Strike Back.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, man.
That
was
concert
so good.
Was incredible.
It was so good.
So incredible. That do you remember who opened for them?
No.
It was a band that this may be a major blast from the past. This is not a popular band, but this is an Oklahoma band called Sly's Alter Ego.
Sly's Alter Ego. I remember Sly's Alter Ego.
For them. They also played one time when I was in Blue School at Super Summer.
Okay.
And Sly's Alter Ego was our worship band, which I'm not sure how that works out.
Justin Mann wasn't in that band, was he?
No. That was not
Justin Mann band?
That was not any J&B action. Okay. No, that was full Sly's Alter Ego. No, I remember the Supertones concert halfway towards the end when they were playing one of their songs, and the lead singer grabs a surfboard.
Yeah, I went across the crowd
and chucks and literally crowd surfed.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
It was incredible. And the thing that I remember most though is that he was singing while not being hooked up to a mic cord, and we were all like, "How is he doing that?"
Yeah, technology.
Because wireless mics were like a thing.
Yeah, just started.
Yeah, it was really cool.
You know what I remember most about that concert?
What is that?
The couple that was making out in the back. I mean, they were just swallowing one another's faces at a Christian concert at a church.
Yeah.
He was trying to swallow her face, and she was putting up a good fight, That's what I remember most about that concert.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Craig Smith called him out.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was one of the youth pastors.
I literally stood... I think I stood in front of the speaker. Like I literally was like, "Hey, watch this, guys!" And you think you're cool, and you're going up there, and I'm standing next to speakers that are as tall as they had like a tower of speakers on both sides.
Oh no, yeah, it was so loud in there, but it was awesome.
There was so much flack.
Yeah.
After that concert.
Was there?
Oh yeah, because they cleared out. This point, New Church, the building of New Church is like what? Only maybe
couple years old.
Less than 5 years old.
Right.
It's
yeah.
like
And you cleared all
new.
the chairs and you just made a giant mosh pit.
Giant mosh pit in the middle of this brand new church, and when everybody left the carpet, there had to be 500 pieces of gum.
Oh my gosh!
It was unreal, and they were so ticked because they were like, "What?" And then since it was fairly new construction, there was still a lot of muddy areas outside, and so like there was like a mud trail, that went into the place. So it was one of those things that I don't remember if there was another concert.
I never went to one.
OC Supertones at New Church.
Yeah,
I think that was the kicker.
Yeah,
that kicked the bucket of concerts, because there were ones before that.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they were.
Oh, they weren't the OC Supertones.
No, they weren't. The Supertones.
They were awesome.
Still one of my favorite bands.
Oh man,
I'm gonna have to kick that.
Yeah, right. Can we bring that back? Can we just listen to that on the way to lunch today?
That would be great. That would be
Don't strike back. Oh man, so good. Makes me want to go fight.
Yes.
Maybe at lunch we pick a fight with a random. Maybe there's another two guys.
I got beat up by two middle-aged men while they played ska music, Christian ska music. It was horrific.
That'd be so much fun. Can we go pick a fight today at lunch? Like we listen to Christian ska, and we go to let's roll in to Texlahoma barbecue today.
Just find Brian and just start beating him.
No, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight the owner. I want a random two dudes that are in there. They work for they're
like Paycom employees.
They're laying fiber optics up here.
Yeah,
you know, and we just go in and we just beat them up and then
just kick the song on the cell phone. And
well, wait. How about this? We wait till they get their food, then we beat them up, and then we take their food.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Then it has a purpose.
Then it has like a good junior high bully feel to it.
Yeah,
Just
go full on right back into the old days of youth ministry.
I punch him in the face. He's like, "What did I do?" And I just say, "You know what you did." And he's like, "You're right." And he just agrees to it.
Yeah.
Supertone strike back. That's right. We just struck back with the Supertone.
Oh gosh.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to pick any fights at lunch today.
No. We will pay lawfully for our food. Oh,
one can dream. Anyway. Adam, you look good. I know we talked about this last week.
Yes.
You're rocking that PSE shirt. I don't know if
anybody,
Can you?
There we go.
That? Oh yeah, rocking that PSE shirt.
It is nice. It's one of. I was telling you a little bit ago that I've got a major problem.
Oh yeah.
I've got a major problem.
Oh yeah, I remember what you were talking about. Yeah.
And that is my closet is the old cupboard is bare.
Yeah.
When it comes to clothing, because all of my clothes today are like dresses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally wearing dresses.
We went from 250.
Yeah, went down
to 200.
Yeah, went from really started at 260, but went down to 250 or 200, and now it's there's problems.
Yeah, you lost 50 pounds. Yeah, no, but, you lost a third grader.
I've got an idea, a fundraising idea for Final Descent Outdoors and SU Going Ministries that I think could be majorly profitable. Might even sponsor an entire season of TV. And that's we take all of my worn sponsor clothing. Okay, go with me on this.
Okay,
it's LTD. All right, limited edition clothing, worn by the Red Panda. It's been. All the body hair on the inside has really,
and you were so.
I know.
hairy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like sandpaper. So the clothing, the cotton has been. It reached its pinnacle of softness.
Okay.
But we put all of it together and we auction it off.
So you have a sweater that you wear all the time.
Yes,
because you are a hairy man.
I'm not going to argue with you.
But I feel like let's just touch on. I'm sure everybody listening is curious about the body hair situations of both of us, so we're gonna go there. I feel like people look at me, I'm a big burly man, right? And they would think, well, Brad's a super hairy guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like a baby.
I'm not that hair. I don't have a lot of body hair. Like
alopecia.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't have a lot of body hair. Like I got a little bit of chest hair.
Got a little tuft, just enough to hold up a microphone.
Yeah, no,
we need it.
There's a couple times I didn't have an undershirt on, and wearing a lapel mic, I've been able to just roll it up into a ball.
Yeah,
you roll up your chest hair, you clip that mic on there, and it hurts.
It's like Charlie Brown's head.
There's more chest hair than that. I don't want to sound like I'm, having any puberty yet, but anyway, there's definitely a difference in us. I don't have hardly any back hair at all.
Yeah.
But you take your shirt off, and I can't tell you took your shirt off sometimes. Especially. Exactly. But anyway, so you're coming to the idea you want to sell your slightly used.
Yeah, I mean that's a loose term. You said it, not me. It's used. What I would call it is it's like the pants you buy from like the store with the holes already in it. Mm-hmm. It's
fashionably cool.
It's been worn. It is a worn look, but
it's kind of a thing to go to the thrift store to get your stuff.
Yeah, got to pop some tags.
I'm gonna pop some tags. I got $20 in my pocket. I couldn't even buy these microphones.
$29.99
sticker.
We popped some tags on these microphones. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we did. I'll tell you something that was really hard wardrobe wise was not to throw away that Oklahoma State hat that you left at my house for 2 months.
I appreciate that.
It was really tough. I want you to know how hard it was.
I appreciate that. These are wonderful hats. Wonderful hats.
So, do we need to go shopping today?
It could be nice. I literally have like 3 T-shirts that fit. All right,
point. So we're gonna go shopping in the old Final Descent Outdoors warehouse.
Yeah.
All right. I've got some sponsor shirts.
Yeah.
I've got some FDO gear, some shirts, because you've dropped in size. So we'll do that today. We'll get you hooked up. All right.
That would be wonderful.
And guess what? I won't even charge you. You charged me to put up this wall. Okay. All right. So,
but not that beam.
Not that beam. No.
Not that beam. The beam with me.
That was Brant.
No.
Brant didn't charge me a dime to do that because he's a friend.
He's a friend of friends. That guy.
So Adam, I just had an incredible trip to Old Mexico.
Yes.
And you didn't get to go.
Yeah. It was. Just didn't get to go.
You didn't get to go.
Didn't get to make it happen.
It was an awesome trip. I actually came in a day early to Tucson. We always fly into Tucson, and then the Rudy with Sonora Premier Outfitters, they always pick us up in Tucson, take us across the border. They handle all your paperwork for your gun, making sure you get in, all your stuff, get you in, go to a ranch, and you hunt. But I flew in early, and I got to spend a day at PSC Archery.
How fitting.
I know.
How fitting.
I got to go and hang out with our buddy Cade.
Yeah.
At PSC, got the old Grand tour. Got to see all the new bows being made. Was super cool. Watch the process. Got
to get on the inside.
I got to see the inside. Let me tell you, that's a heck of an operation, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Huge facility. Mm-hmm. Huge facility. Ton of people. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, it's a reason that they're, they
are who they are.
One of the biggest, if not the biggest, producer of archery bows in the industry. I mean, they're pumping them out in there. It was awesome to see and to watch. But I tell you what's super cool. I got to hang. So Cade's giving me the tour, and I got to see all this stuff. And we come back around to the offices, and in walks Pete Shipley, the man himself, Mr. PSE,
the legend.
I mean, he's a legend in archery. Pete comes walking in carrying I'm trying to think what it was. Like he was lunch for lunch. He comes walking in. He's got like a bag of Whataburger.
Yeah.
And we walk into Lonnie.
My kind of guy.
Lonnie, I think, is right under Pete and kind of running the show for PSC. Good dude. And we go into Lonnie's office and talk to Lonnie. Pete comes in, sits down, and kind of start talking or whatever. Pete eats his lunch. We're just telling stories, man. I showed him my elk footage. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, that's incredible. And just talking about how the season went. And he was like, hey, he's like, man, have you seen all the animals? So there's a room in there. Like Pete has shot so many animals.
Mm-hmm.
He has like this overflow room.
An overflow room of mounts.
That is probably 30 by 40.
Uh-huh.
It's actually bigger than that. It would probably be more like they would fill a 40 by 60 shop.
Wow.
And they're laying on the ground.
Really?
In there. Because he's just like got a room on where to put them. This guy shot multiple like bull elephants with a bow and arrow. He has like gone all over the world, bow hunted all these animals. So we go in, and I mean, there's just moose and deer and caribou and all kinds of like mountain sheep stuff. He has a full body. He has a full body mounted ostrich, full body like multiple like lions, a bear, a muskox, a full body mounted muskox.
Was it musky?
I didn't smell it. Didn't go up to it and take a whiff.
Yeah.
But there's all these animals in there, and it was incredible. He's like telling me stories. And so like I just got to hang out with Pete Shipley and listen to him just tell stories like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
All right. And so it was so stinking cool to have the opportunity to do that, hang out with Pete Shipley. But then after we got done hanging out with Pete, we ended up going to my hotel, and then the next day everybody flew in, and we went into Old Mexico. And when I go to Old Mexico, two things happen. I either kill the first day or I kill in the last 30 minutes. There's no in between. This is my fourth trip, and it's either I've killed the first day or the last day.
The last time I went was it was the last day.
Yeah, it was the last day. It was a grinder. It was. So it was time. The script
tried
had
to punch
flipped.
your card.
It was time. So first morning, and Rudy's all like, "Man, we've struggled. This has been so hard. This has been tough. The hunting's not been good. The mule deer haven't been moving good." And he was basically like, I can't really promise you anything. And we ended up going out, spotted a great mule deer right off the bat.
Yeah.
And Bambi, my guide. Okay. Remember old Bambi?
I have not met Bambi yet.
Okay, Bambi wasn't there.
Last time I hunted, we was with Francisco.
Yeah. Hey, I walked up to him and handed him a dude wipe. First thing I did.
You did?
I did.
Have we ever told that story?
I don't think so. All right, so this has a
story.
No. Let's dive into it right now.
Oh gosh.
All right, we got to dive into it right now.
All right.
So Francisco is our guy. Here's the deal: like when we go to Old Mexico, we don't speak.
I don't habla de español.
All I know how to say is baño and muy grande.
Yeah.
Like me, there's grande. Me, muy grande. That's how I do. I'm like, I'm looking for a big buck. All right, don't be playing around. Don't even stop for the big ones.
I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to get around.
So we're up on this big hill a couple years ago, and we're glassing.
We'd been there a long time.
Yeah, we've been there several hours.
Long time.
And we've already eaten our breakfast burritos that
I eat everybody else's.
They give you 3 burritos. I think I ate 2 of mine, and then you ended up eating 6 altogether.
Something like that.
Because you just pounded them.
Wonderful. Homemade tortillas.
Because you were fat.
I was large.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot's changed. I mean, the weight's gone, but the heart's still inside.
That's right.
That's the part we're working on now, is that part of it.
Yeah.
But
food rampage.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of like everybody's kind of rotating, going to the back. You just got to like go find a cactus and squat down behind a cactus to go poop. Okay.
Don't get too close.
That's right. Don't sit on a cactus.
Don't sit on. Don't lean. No sitting.
Anyway, but we had some dude wipes.
Yeah.
All right, which are a little black. Came in a little black package.
Yeah.
A little square.
Yeah.
And it's a little wet wipe.
Fold it, a little wet wipe.
Little wet wipe. Just a nice little.
Just a nice little kiss.
Little kiss.
Just a nice little kiss.
Right. Out in the old wild, just nice little refreshing wipeage after you're done doing your thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking, and friends, we have James with us.
Yeah.
And James is an American. Yeah, he's got the deepest voice I've ever heard. But we got James
in the rough.
Yeah, we got James who speaks English.
Fluent.
He's from Tucson originally. He's an American, but he speaks Spanish too. And he says Francisco's going to go over there and go to the bathroom. He's got to go take care of business. Well, Adam,
I'm like,
being nice,
I got something for him.
Yeah.
So I go over and grab a box of these dude wipes, and I grab a couple of them out. And I run back over to Francisco and I hand him to him. And he has got the most confused look on his face.
It's confused, but also like confused, but there's even a point of like anger.
A little anger, very much so concern.
Yeah.
At what's going on.
And he's staring at this dude wipe.
Yeah.
And looking at it. And we just this moment, we're both standing there, all of us kind of looking at.
There's something that language goes beyond.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that was a moment in which language didn't need to be spoken. Everybody knew that something was not okay.
Yeah, he had a look of things not being okay.
Yes.
Well, him and James start talking in Spanish, and James starts laughing.
He busts out laughing.
And I'm like, what is going on? And James goes, Francisco thought Adam just walked up and handed him 2 condoms. And he thought Adam was soliciting other activities, maybe.
Hey, if you're going to go back behind that bush, take a couple of these. I'll be there in a minute. That's what Francisco thought. He was full bore on that path.
He thought Adam is so now it's a joke. I mean, when he realized they're, these dude wipe wipies.
We were all laughing on top of that hill.
Oh, gosh. That was such a great laugh. So the first thing we get there, first day, everybody's gathering around and all the guides are there and we're all kind of standing. It's so fun because you're in old Mexico. You sit around a fire every night.
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish. They don't speak English, but we have so much fun together.
Yeah.
And anyway, everybody's standing around, and I'll bring one with me. And I walked up and I handed it to him, and he gets it, and he's like, oh, and he's just like, Senor Adam. Yeah, and so we had a great laugh. Funny. But anyway, so Bambi's with me. Bambi is my guide, and Bambi is by far the best spotter in a spotting scope I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
no doubt, hands down, best I've ever seen. And so, he was spotting coos at like 1,800 yards bedded. They're the size of a lab.
Moly.
He's so good. He's got a Vortex Viper or Vortex Razor spotting scope, and I'm telling you, the dude works it. Anyway, so we spot a good mule deer, and he's like, oh, Brad, Senor Brad, and he's like trying to, and I find him, and I'm looking, and I can tell it's a pretty good buck.
Yeah.
And he's like, we need to go. And so we start moving on him. He's quite a ways off. I mean, he's 1,200 yards away. We move up, and we get down. And I'm having a hard time. We got a mirage between us, and I'm trying to range him, and I can't range him. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to guess. I'm guessing he's going to be somewhere in the 400-yard range.
Yeah.
And so I've got that CVA 7 mag. I lay down, got that Vortex scope that's on top of it is friggin' legit. Mm-hmm. I lay down, I get prone, and I feel good, and I squeeze it off, and I shot like underneath him.
Oh, really?
And I was like, golly, like shot right below him.
Yeah.
And he jumps in the air, and they only go about 50 yards, and they stop, and they just go back to grazing. They didn't have any idea where it came from.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, let's keep going, get closer, and so I'm following him. Of course, that's not what he said. He didn't speak English, but he's like, come on. And so we just start going, and we move. Andale. And we're moving, and we drop down in this old creek bed, and we go, and we work our way up, and we come up off of it, and now we've closed the distance. Get my range from, I range him, and he's 437. Whoa. I just shot at him from 700. I was so far off on my guesstimation how far he was out there in that desert, man. I mean, I was way off. So I was like, no wonder I missed him.
Yeah.
So we get laid down prone, and he's got a bunch of does with him, some smaller bucks, and he finally steps out from behind some brush, and he keeps going. I moved to the next spot, and when he stepped into it, I was like, I'm just going to hammer him. And he stepped in, and I shot. Boom, I hit him in the right front leg, down through his brisket. And I missed his vital, so I knew I was going to have to put a follow-up shot on him, but he ran up on a hill, and he stops, and he's standing up there, and he's just, he's hurt.
Yeah, he's bleeding. Not happy about it.
And he's like, Brad, shoot. And I'm like, bro, that sucker is like 1,300 yards now. Yeah. And I'm like, no. And he's like, shoot. And I'm trying to explain to him, and I started doing hand motions. I was like, okay, Pepe. I said, burro, like burro, me. And I was like, and he's like, okay. Yeah. And so we go up, and anyway, we put another shot on him, get him down.
Yeah.
Anyway, great hunt. I turned into a cameraman, got to go and film. Jonathan Stinson, one of our staff guys that was there, him and Brandon Riley went with me. I got to film Jonathan, shoot a buck. We had a great trip. Coming back out, go through customs with my deer. I got 2 capes. Jonathan just skull mounted his. I'm taking his cape and my cape, and we get across the border. Everything's great. I go to UPS.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so I'm going to ship my horns and 2 capes back home. Going to overnight them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting on an airplane. Going to fly home, but I'm going to overnight them. Boy, in hindsight, I'd have done things different. Okay, I paid UPS $400.
Yeesh.
To overnight.
Yeesh.
2 capes and my horns home.
Yeah.
I should have went and got an ice chest, taped that sucker up, put it on that airplane.
Yeah.
Paid the money to fly it that
Yeah.
way. So stupid. Anyway, that's not
Yeah.
what I did. So anyway, ship that sucker home, all right? Get on the airplane. I fly home on a Thursday. Friday comes. It's not there.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
You got home and then the box wasn't.
The box wasn't there. Okay, no big deal. It didn't show up on Friday. Everything's probably still fine. Everything's still pretty cold.
Yeah.
Saturday rolls around. Guess what? Doesn't show up.
No box.
Sunday, I'm like tracking it. It's sitting in Albuquerque.
It's not sitting. It's just rotting.
Yeah,
in Albuquerque.
And then Sunday, they don't deliver on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. Monday, don't get it. Tuesday, 6:47 p.m. That dude shows up. Here's what ticks me off. I paid to snail mail Jonathan's head home for him.
Yeah.
He got his head before I got mine.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I dropped some major bucks on it. So I'm ticked. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ticked. So I file a claim on UPS. And it was big. Those hunts, I don't, thank goodness I have to pay for them.
Yeah.
It's a $10,000 hunt to go to Mexico and hunt a mule deer.
Yeah.
Rudy gives that as an exchange, and I've been blessed. I've killed 3 incredible mule deer there.
Yeah.
189, a 174. This one's going to be mid-160s. I've killed some great mule deer.
Yeah.
I killed a coos. Anyway, we go, have a great time. But for me to go and replace it to get 2 capes, it cost me $20,000.
Yeah.
And so I filed a $20,000 claim against UPS.
I think that probably got their attention.
The next day, UPS was at my door. The UPS worker lady shows up at my house on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I'm supposed to pick up the damaged package.
Ma'am?
I said, ma'am, I don't know if that's what you want to do.
Do you have
And
a
she was like, well, it shows that it's
storage place?
a deer head. And I said, no, yeah, it's a deer head. She goes, well, did an ear get broke off of it? And I was like, no, ma'am, it has not been taxidermied yet. And she was like, oh, you mean like it was like flesh and stuff? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And so she's like on the phone with her boss. His name is Adam. He's like in her ear.
Yeah.
And she's like, Adam, like this is like, it's like rotted flesh. I was like, yeah, no, this is bad.
Yeah.
I said, I still have it. And she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? She goes, let me see the box. So I showed her the horns and what it was all packaged in. And, you know, I'd put, dry. We did all the stuff, to it.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I'll take the box. She goes, and her boss like, no, you got it. You got to get those. You got to get the hide.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, I'll go get it. And so I go get it. And I put it all in a twin bed mattress moving bag.
Yeah.
So it was all like big, heavy. I wrapped it up and all in there together. And of course, it's just like blood stained. Like it's just nasty. And I come walking out with it. All right. I go get it from my shop and I bring it in and I set it down on my front porch. And this poor girl is just going, I mean, she's just like dry. She's like, I can't put that in my truck. And she's dry. I mean, she's bent over. And so the guy on her ears, like, just take pictures of it. She's like, I can't.
I can't take pictures.
Yeah. So anyway, I had 2 ruined deer capes from my trip to Mexico. So if anybody's listening and you've got a desert mule deer cape laying around, call me. I'd love to figure out how to get one because I can get a mule deer cape, but there's a difference. There is a difference between a desert mule deer and a regular mule deer, and here I am.
That seems to be the bane of things getting back from Mexico is the old cape.
Yeah.
That's been a troublesome area.
It is. One year, the wonderful people of the United States Border Patrol, who are not always,
they're not.
Some places they are, but that particular guy was not a very kind man.
Yeah.
And he said the ears are not thought out enough for my inspection. And he says I'm getting off here in 10 minutes, and I'm the only one who can do this. So you got 2 options: you either go back and stay in Mexico, which I had a flight like at 6 a.m. next morning, or you have to incinerate it. I'll burn it for you. And I had to burn a cape.
Right there.
Yeah. Because Border Patrol said those old ears are not thought out quite enough for me.
Sounds like he did not feel like finishing off the day strong.
Yeah. No, I appreciate those guys and what they do, but sometimes maybe they're not always the nicest.
Yeah. And we all have our days.
We all have our days.
We all have our days. So.
So anyway, UPS just, do you know what I realized I should have done?
What is that?
I should have hired Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I seen Castaway. You know what I mean?
Reliability.
I mean, you can be stranded on an island, but guess what? He delivered that package.
Yes, he did.
He got it there.
He did.
He got it done. You know, there's no excuses from FedEx.
No,
so
there's not.
Anyway,
there's not.
So it's been a couple weeks now. You know what? You know what I found out from UPS? Nothing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Nothing. Slow playing me. I mean, I would at least give me my money back.
Yeah, at least
what I paid.
Just a refund would be nice.
Can we start there?
Yeah, that's a good
refund
jumping
me back
off point.
$400.
Yeah, that'd be a nice jumping off point.
Anyway, but I got all the stuff delivered down to Rob down there at Bailey's Outdoor Shop.
Yeah.
Well, Rob and Dee Bailey, they do all our taxidermy work. See all the taxidermy in here.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Most of it was done by them, and they do good stuff. Great people.
Very good people.
Man, I like Dee and Rob a lot.
They are both great people. I know anytime we go down there, we're usually there for we're there for a couple hours.
2 hours just talking, just visiting. Such good people. So I'll be honest with you. I know about 3 taxidermists that I would trust with just about anything.
Yeah.
There's been some shady taxidermy operations happening.
I've heard of a few of those ones.
Here's my opinion on this whole deal. Okay, so first off, this is what I love about Rob. Okay, Rob and Dee. First off, they're good people.
Yes,
they're good people, right? I trust. Not only do they good work, but they're good people. Rob's outdoor shop. He's got an archery shop. They got a gun shop. All kinds of stuff in there that you could buy. Guess what? Rob's also a Crown Broadhead guy now.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he loves the Crown.
He's a Crown guy.
He's a Crown from Thorn
He's
Broadheads.
a Thorn Crown guy.
Oh, he loves it. And so we talked about that and told him I'd kill my bull elk with it. And anyway, so we were I love those guys because they're good folks, and they if there's something's been slow, or you can have a conversation with them. You know what I mean? And they've been in business a long time.
Yeah, there's a reason that they've been there for as long as they've been there.
There is, right? Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so, but here's the thing: in the state of Oklahoma, there is no license. There is no requirements at all for you. Do you know anything about taxidermy?
No, I do not.
Did you know that tomorrow you could open a taxidermy business?
Funny you ask.
Right, exactly. I overheard you talking about it. You're going to start a taxidermy business.
I got some mule deer carcasses that I'm about to start renovating.
Too soon. Too soon. Okay. All right.
A little bit of a low blow.
A little too soon.
A little bit of a low blow.
To running that up on me. So you could start a taxidermy business in Oklahoma. Have no idea what you're doing. You could charge $500 for a shoulder mount. You require $250 down payment, and no absolutely nothing. There's no licensing. There's no board. There's no nothing that assures that you are capable or know what you're doing. Did you know to get a haircut that barber?
Oh yeah,
they have to have a license. That's what your sister does, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she does hair. She has to be licensed. There's a board. She can have her license. If she does a poor job, she does things wrong, people can complain, and guess what?
They can get her revoked.
They can get her revoked where she can't operate her business anymore.
Yeah, especially if you're doing things that are not cleanly.
Right, exactly. I got scabies from the hair plate, right? I mean, whatever it is, you can exactly. All right. There is no board. There's no license required to be a taxidermist in the state of Oklahoma. Nothing.
All you got's word of mouth.
All you got's word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been some shady dudes doing taxidermy in Oklahoma. This is like a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll do it. This will be the next podcast. I will dive into one of the sketchiest situations I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
I won't say the dude's name. I won't say his business. Let's just say he accused me of breaking in to his shop, stealing Michael Harrell's deer.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make him look bad for a donated mount to our church's big buck contest.
Yeah.
I was on staff at a church. This segment's brought to you by Burlington Northern Santa Fe. As it blows by.
You are welcome. Toot toot.
No lie. Okay, that is legitimate. The guy accused me of breaking into his shop and stealing Michael Harrell's deer.
Yeah.
That guy got arrested. It was a huge deal. All these people. Anyway, but like this guy, here's the deal.
For taxidermy.
He had multiple failed businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, multiple failed businesses. And all he would do is that one would shut down, he would change the name, move to a different town, and start back up again. His taxidermy business. Mm-hmm. And here he goes, and he's just getting $250, $300 deposits.
Yeah.
And then not doing what he said.
Yeah.
And not following through, not getting people's stuff to him. And so it's just this huge mess. And so I believe that there needs to be legislation done that it's income because we're requiring a license.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That if you're going to do taxidermy, you need to have a license, and you're registered with the state of Oklahoma with our wildlife department. And because here's the deal, that deer, these deer right here, all right, that middle one right there, the big one, you can see it reflected in the TV screen. All right, killed him at the Stewart Ranch with a muzzleloader. With my buddy Clay down there in Waurika, Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma owns that deer.
Oh yeah.
They can come and take this deer. They own it. The only time they don't own it is when it hits your vehicle. All right. And they're like, no, it's not ours now. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe this would be income for the state. All right. That these taxidermists, you have to have a license to be able to do your business. And if people legitimately have issues, things happen where these people are taking money and they're not doing what they say they were going to do, you're held to a standard. There's some type of standard that's being done, because if you have an issue with a taxidermist, you go to your wildlife department, you go talk to a game warden. He's like, well, you got to take that up with the sheriff, county sheriff, or your local PD. And then you have to do like small claims court. Like there's no, like you're pigeonholed in what you can do to have something done about somebody not doing their work or losing you know what I mean? Like it's just a mess. I believe there needs to be legislation passed in the state of Oklahoma where these guys have to be licensed. That's my soapbox.
There you go.
There you go. That's all we got.
There you go. The box has been soaped.
It is an issue for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a drink of this deer can. I'm going to quench my thirst.
Just calm down a little bit. Have a little drink. Calm yourself down. It's okay. We got D and we got Rob.
They're good people. They do good work.
That's who we got.
They do good stuff. I'm excited to get stuff back. They're almost done with your elk.
They are. I'm excited for it. My wall is ready.
When I was down there dropping my stuff off, I saw Daniel Arms' daughter, Emily's big old wide buck that she killed on the show, that 150, like 153, 154 buck that she killed. Just dropped him in his tracks.
That's awesome. I remember that one.
I saw him. He was almost done. He was
beautiful.
I know. It makes me hate her a little bit. Really, dang it, Emily. Why are you killing bigger deer than me?
Anyway, gosh.
Good stuff. Great stuff. Absolute great stuff. Adam, you just got back from vacation.
I did. Just got back from a ski trip. There's so many little stories there that could be probably a whole nother podcast worth of stories there.
You know what I hate?
Yeah.
Snow skiing.
I know. It's unfortunate.
I wear a size 15
Well,
shoe.
when you wear skis all the time.
Those boots, bro, they're so heavy.
They are a beast.
They're horrible.
They're you finally go numb to them after about day 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a stress period in which you have to really got to get through them.
I don't get through it. It's just, it's pain. I have no arch. When I step out of the shower, you can see my whole foot. I have zero arch, none. And those boots absolutely kill me. I hate snow skiing. I hate it.
Love it.
I hate snow skiing.
I love it.
It should be outlawed and banned.
I would like to introduce legislation in the state of Oklahoma.
There's two things I'd like to discuss with you guys. I'd like to all taxidermists to have to be licensed, and also what do we got to do about banning snow skiing? Because it's a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No,
No.
people can go do it. Have a great time. But we used to do doing youth ministry. We used to do ski trips.
Yeah.
And
What did you do during the ski trip?
I skied and I hated it. But I'll be honest with you, most of the time as a youth pastor, what ended up happening is I had a kid get hurt.
Yeah.
Or be like, okay, guys, like we're in high elevation. You need to drink lots of water.
Yeah.
And I pounded Mountain Dew. And then day 2, they're throwing up and they
Yeah.
need an adult to stay with them in the
Like,
cabin.
oh, I got to stay here at the cabin.
And so I would have to stay back with kids. Or I had a kid spiral fracture his leg one year. That was horrible. His parents had to drive out and get him, and he laid in the back seat. You know, it was so bad. But one of the worst experiences was our first year that we went. We went to Keystone.
That's where I grew up skiing.
I know.
It's my favorite place.
We went to Keystone, and there was a kid. I won't say his name since he has passed away in a tragic car accident. But there was a sauna.
Yeah.
And right there at the lodge we were staying at.
Yeah.
He peed in the sauna. Peed on the rocks, the hot rocks.
Woof. Aromatherapy. Were you in the sauna?
I was not. No, if I was in the sauna,
oh gosh, I was like, I don't know.
I would have choked him out, sprung on him. There ain't no.
Was he
way.
by himself?
No, man. He was in there with a bunch of the senior dudes. They were seniors,
idiots,
just being idiots. Anyway, so they charged me like $500.
Wow.
Yeah, it reeked.
I bet it reeked.
It was just burnt urine.
Just ammonia. Just like someone dumped a bottle of ammonia mixed with Mountain Dew.
It was horrible.
Oh,
absolutely horrible.
That's a whole kind of another Mountain Dew.
Yeah, but you sent me some polos. You going down the mountain?
Yeah,
looked like you were having a good time.
I did have a good time, man. I mean, I've been skiing for 26 years.
Well, and it's a cool story too because this was kind of you might talk about this.
Yeah.
This meant something.
It was very special because we grew up skiing, going to Keystone. My grandparents owned a condo up there, and we grew up having no idea what we had.
Yeah.
No idea. Just a bunch of turd faces. No idea what we had. And we spent every Christmas, we would leave on the 26th and wouldn't come back till school started.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
The first year I spent New Year's Eve in my own home or in Oklahoma was when I was 27.
Wow. Okay.
So we skied every year a lot.
Yeah.
My grandparents paid for everything. Had the condo.
Yeah.
Ski rentals, lift tickets, all of it. So I remember when they sold the condo, which this was about 10 years ago.
What is this in your beard? Oh, it's a silver spoon. Let me set it down over here. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Silver spoon child.
No.
Wow.
Giant.
What's it like being a trust fund baby?
No, it had no idea. It has no idea what it had. That's what it's like. It's called complete and total spoiled.
Why do you
platinum.
even work at them?
I don't. I really could live off of the mounds of gold that surround my bed at night, but I choose to contribute to society. So yes.
Okay.
No, we didn't have any idea what we had. Total silver spoon. I will not deny it at all. No idea.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Super huge blessing. But when they sold the place, because it got to be too much for my grandma, it was just painful for her to go up there, and she just caused her to miss her husband. So they sold it, and we got, a couple years after, and I was like, man, we ought to really go skiing again. Let's do it. Whole family, let's go do it. So you get online, and I literally remember
being sick at your stomach.
Spending about an hour and a half online, and I literally had tears like rolling down my face.
Yeah.
When you finally realize what you've been given, and there's just this sickness, but also gratitude at the same time for what you've had. But my dad found the same condo that we grew up going to and contacted the current owners and told them who he was and all this stuff. And so my dad rented this condo for our whole family.
Yeah, your grandma's condo that you grew up going to.
The condo, 2054 Pines. we grew up going to, and we got there, and I remember walking in, and it smelled the same. The floor, I remember like creaking in the same spots, like all kinds of stuff, just memories just flooding back. And there was one point where like I was standing in the kitchen and I was sitting there alone, and like, have you ever had one of those out of body kind of experiences where you like almost can like see the things that used to happen? And it was like I was standing in the kitchen, but I could see like all the things that we used to do. Like I could see where like my cousins would sit when we'd play cards, or, you know, things, just floods of memories. And I remember just sitting there, and Casey walked around the corner and was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "No." I remember just bawling, just up in the condo, just going, man, the memories that happened here, I'm so grateful for, because of what we had.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool story, and it was a great trip, and there's a lot of other that really funny stories that happen. Like that's a sweet moment that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, but there's definitely some stories that could be gone into.
How'd your kids do?
They did great.
Did they?
They went to ski school for 3 days.
Yeah.
And they had a blast, and Hurley and Tank loved skiing. They went down to Black on day 5.
What?
Yeah. They were like, "We want to go down to Black." And we were like, "Alrighty then."
What?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're a good parent.
They did it. Well, from the very beginning, I told them, I was like, if you can turn.
Dad, I'd like to smoke some Marlboros.
Yeah.
Okay, son.
Whatever you think's best for you. Yeah. I'm a Marlboro man myself. Yeah. No, they did great. They loved it. Of course.
Dad, what's this white powder in here? No, you're not quite ready for that yet, son. Not quite ready for that.
The cocaine.
I do the old Columbia booger sugar.
Yeah.
You're not quite ready for it yet, son.
No, it. But yeah, they did great. Everybody had a lot of fun, and there's tons of good stories. But what I remember, when I relate skiing more than anything to now, is I relate it to, like, there's so many times that I take the grace of God for granted and not knowing what I have. And when you get to really sit back once in a while and count it and go, man, what I have, what I've been given is like it leaves you kind of speechless.
You know, when you were sharing that, one of the things that came to me is that, yes, we get so busy that we forget what we have. Mm-hmm. But then, like, when you were talking, it was almost like, it reminds me of an Ebenezer, right? Mm-hmm. You know, when God said, you know, that song, "Here I raise my Ebenezer," right? Yeah. Well, what is an Ebenezer? An Ebenezer is a stone, right? It was a marker to remind us of what, in the Bible, we see this Ebenezer is this stone to remind of what God did. So no matter what happens down the road, we can look back and be like, God was real there. Yeah. And so that's what almost reminded me when you're sharing that story, because you're like all these memories kind of flooding back to all the great times you've had there. That's an Ebenezer in your life from a family aspect. Sure. That, you know, that place will always be sentimental to you. That place will always have a special place for you. You know, not even that condo, sure, but even Keystone, right? Like that is a place that reminds you of family and your grandma and growing up. And we all have those in our life, and those are like spiritual markers that are, you know, in our life as well. Like I can look back and think of, like we were talking about the OC Supertones, you know, and talking about growing up in youth group. Yeah. Then there were spiritual markers in my life that no matter what happens, I can look back at and say, God was real there. Yeah. In that moment, in that place, I remember when God called me to the ministry. Yeah. I remember when God called me to the ministry. Mm-hmm. I was in the First Baptist Ada cabin at Falls Creek, largest youth camp in the world, right? Mm-hmm. The Baptist breeding ground, as some would refer to it. All right, just
metaphorically, sometimes literally.
I know you get 6,000 kids. It's you know,
the odds are against you
sometimes. But it was an incredible place. God has moved incredible there over the years. I mean, thousands and thousands of people coming to know the Lord, surrender the ministry. My youth pastor had left our church, and we were looking for a small church, First Baptist, Allen, Oklahoma. And we were looking for somebody to fill in. And I had just graduated in May, but I was going to go play football in Kansas, and felt like I was supposed to like just kind of take in and be the front guy through the summer, and get us through going to Super Summer, leadership camp, our mission trip, Falls Creek, and then August rolled around. I'd move off, go to Kansas, and live my life, and never talk to those people again. I'm just kidding. But I was going to, go do my thing. And so I remember, saying, hey, I'd be interested in leading this and just kind of being out front and making sure things get done. And I did that. And I had my whole life planned out, man. And I remember being in that cabin, and I'll never forget, Buddy Johnson was our pastor. And we went like week 8, like last week of Falls Creek. And I'm like 2 weeks from moving to college. And I'll never forget Chris Gordon, Feed, walked in to the First Baptist Ada cabin where we were renting that week. And I was sitting in there, and he walked up to Buddy, our pastor, and he said, I wanted to personally hand you my resume because I feel like I may be the next youth pastor at First Baptist Allen. And God spoke to me as audible as God has ever spoke to me. In that moment, he said, Brad, that's your job. And I went, oh, no. No, God, I've got my life planned out. I'm going to go play football. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to go to Cleveland Chiropractic School in Kansas City. I'm going to become a chiropractor. I'm going to come home, and I'm going to make lots of money. And that's my life. And God was like, it's not actually. And I remember I got up, and I went into the sponsor's bathroom. And this was a mistake. If you've been to Christian camp before, you don't ever get on your knees. But I got on my knees, and I said, all right, God, I'm yours if this is what you want me to do. And like that place is a spiritual mark. Like I can look back at, like, man, life gets tough. Things happen. I can always look back at that moment and be like, God was real there. God was real there. Yeah. And you know what? I think sometimes we need to be reminded of that. Like we can get so busy. We can get distracted with things in life that, man, look back in your life. Where were these moments where you can go, God was real there? God was real there. No matter what else, I know he was real in that moment. And that's an Ebenezer in our life. Those are important. BNSF. Reminder. Yes, God. Yeah, we have a milestone. We have a marker in our life. We do. I firmly believe all that 100%. I think 100% God has set up those moments for us that we have to be able to look back on and remember because we're weak. Exactly. And we have to have reminders. We have to, because sometimes physical things are easier to see, and they help point us back to him. For sure. They do. It's a number one thing that we love. Yeah. So maybe today, as you're listening to this, it's going, you know what? Things have been a little bit rough in life. Things aren't going as good for me, and I'm not walking with the Lord the way that I need to be. How do I get back there? Man, I want to encourage you to look back and think about the things that God has done for you. Right? Think about the things that he has done for you. Man, it may be tough right now, but where has he been there for you? Where has he been? And is there Ebenezers in your life, monuments in your life you can say, God was real there? Yeah. God was real there. That moment. And maybe sometimes we got to go back and recapture that and pull ourselves back in. You know, I had somebody call me this week. It's funny, I've been out of youth ministry for like 10 years, but you're never out of youth ministry. No. I had a student call me this week, a former student. He's 30 years old. Call me and say, man, I'm not walking with the Lord. What do I need to do? And I always ask the same question. He says, man, how's your quiet time? And he said, I'm not having one. And I said, I know, because you wouldn't be calling me if you did. So today, if you're watching, say, man, I'm not walking with the Lord the way I need to be. I want to encourage you to get into God's Word. It's super easy. Don't feel like I got to memorize the book of Leviticus. Yeah. Man, just open up the book of John. Read chapter 1 of the book of John. And just say, God, speak to me through this. Yeah. And you know what? He will. Yeah. He will. Yep. And there's lots of encouragement to be had in there. And even telling God, look, I remember when you were. I'm going to acknowledge my Ebenezer. Yeah. I want to get back to that place. It's beautiful. I want to create a new Ebenezer. So, like, there's a lot to be had there. There is. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to today's podcast. Man, if we can encourage you, be praying for you, check out FinalDescentOutdoors.com. You can find us on social media. Find Final Descent just about everywhere. Adam, love you, buddy. Appreciate you. Love you too, man. This was a good one. This was fun. This was a fun one. Yeah, this was fun. Anyway, God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Maybe.
Possibly.
We remember how to hook everything up.
Yeah.